Good afternoon. This is Robert Harper with Virginia Farm Bureau's Grain Division, bringing you the Merchandiser Minute for Friday, August the 2nd, 2019. At the end of a week where trade tensions equaled lower futures prices and lower equities. It was definitely a difficult week. When we take a look at the futures part of your cash price, December corn was off 14 cents this week's trade. November soybeans, your new crop contract, was off 31 cents a bushel during this week's trade, and September wheat was off 5 cents a bushel. And again, those tensions, whether it was the end of the month and speculators clearing their books out, or just concerns over future purchases on the demand side, both of those were working against us. When we look at what the USDA said this week in the crop progress report on Monday, the corn crop was rated at 58% good to excellent. Last year's corn crop at this time was rated 72% in good to excellent condition. Soybeans this week, the USDA has the crop rated at 54% good to excellent. Last year, we were rated 70% good to excellent. So obviously the later start, the wet weather since those crops were planted in some locations has got those good to excellence ratings much lower than last year, and that's certainly something that is supportive to futures price. When we look at inspections and sales this week, corn and wheat came in as expected on the inspection side. Remember, that's what gets loaded on vessels and leaves the country. And beans came in above expectations. So that was very price supportive this week when we saw those numbers on Monday. When we get to Thursday and we see the export sales numbers, corn was below expectation, but beans and wheat were both as expected. Our top customers last week in sales, Mexico and Japan for corn. Brazil was our top purchaser of wheat, and we did see Japan and China coming in with a small conciliatory bean purchase as well. Some eye catchers this week in the news was definitely trade. The U.S. trade team was in Shanghai. A lot of rhetoric came out of those meetings, but it was nothing concrete. No U.S. ag products purchased or any indication of when that'll begin again. Both trade teams did indicate that they would meet again in 30 days, so we need to make lemonade out of lemons and be thankful that both sides are talking. The other thing this week we saw was the Federal Open Market Committee lowering interest rates. That's the first time they've done that since 2008, and they cited growing concerns about a global recession. So money's a little bit cheaper now here in the United States, and we saw equities take a hit this week because of that. And today's big announcement from the president centered around the beef cattle industry. He announced that a new deal is being done with the European Union to increase beef exports. Keep your eye on that for next week. And remember, as we come into next week's trade, we'll be really focused on Monday, August the 12th, when we get the August crop report from the USDA, as well as the resurvey of planted acres. That number will be available on August the 12th. It was great to see some of y'all this week at the Virginia Ag Expo. Give us a call to talk about forward contracting. This is Robert with Virginia Farm Bureau's Grain Division.